Kyle Montgomery alongside Pro Bowler Dorsey Levens. The NC State-North Carolina rivalry didn't lack any hype coming into the game, but it did lack a little bit of offense, especially on the part of the North Carolina Tar Heels. Shut out as they lose for the 5th consecutive time in the series against the Wolfpack. And when you look at this game, you don't have to look much further than this defense from NC State. I mean, they were flying around everywhere, shutting out one of the most prolific offenses in the conference. How they do it?
You know, really a dominating defensive performance by the North Carolina State defense. They were just all over the place, putting a lot of pressure on North Carolina quarterbacks, made life miserable for quarterback Brent Renner. He was under pressure all day. They just made life impossible for him. And it's hard for a quarterback to get comfortable in the pocket and sit back and find your receivers when he's got guys in his face all day, leads them into passes like this and the double coverage. You just don't make sound decisions when you're always on the run. You're running for your life. It just doesn't bode well for the quarterback position. For North Carolina also, they shut down the run game, hold them to only 3 yards total running the game. They knocked Brent Renner out the game. Life doesn't get any better for their backup, Braden Hansen. He comes in, they treat him just the same. It was a bad day for North Carolina, great day for NC State's defense.
Yeah, you saw Terrell Manning in there, 11 tackles. He was everywhere, 1 sack in the game, ended up knocking Brent Renner out of the ball game. 165 total yards for that North Carolina offense. Now, we don't want to harp on them, so we will throw North Carolina a bone. If there was a positive, Giovanni Bernard, 47 yards rushing in this game, did become the first Tar Heel to pass 1,000 yards since Jonathan Litton back in 1997. Now, back to the negative and not to harp. But let's talk about Everett Withers. He initiated some back and forth between he and Tom O'Brien when he questioned the academic integrity of NC State. And leading up to this game, his team puts up a goose egg in this game. A lot of folks are starting to question his future with this ball club. Let me ask you this. Why is he talking about the academic integrity of NC State game week when he should be focusing on the game? And secondly, did it have an effect on this game?
Well, I think he's talking about the academic standards because he's talking about recruiting. And when you talk about recruiting guys, you always harp on academics because less than 1% of the guys who make it to the NCAA level actually make it to the NFL. So you want to say, all right, you got to get your education. Now, with the North Carolina situation and the academic scandal they're under, that's really not the road you want to go down. You know, facing nine penalties, that's not the road you want to go down. So I think that's why he said that. As far as it having an impact on the game, I think it did because I think it motivated North Carolina State. Because like we said, North Carolina has been playing lights out on offense the last few weeks, and they put up a goose egg. Definitely a motivational factor for North Carolina State.
Dorsey, when you live in a glass house, you cannot throw stones.
He's throwing boulders.
Right, you got to know that. As for his future, do you think that's a bit shaky?
I don't think it's going to end his future, but it puts it on unstable ground. You know, you can't go out there and say things like that when you're under a microscope. I think it's best for him to just keep his mouth closed moving forward.
Well, I guess we'll hush up for now as well. For Dorsey Levens, I'm Kyle Montgomery saying so long for now from our ACC Digital Network studios. Remember, we are on Twitter at the ACCDN. Don't forget to follow us and send us a few questions. Catch you next time.